girl.
I really thank you.
Hi,
Oh,
Jojo. Who's joining us today?
you tell me.
I should tell you.
Why does it look like you're slanting and you're not facing the camera well?
I'm slanting. No, I'm trying to do like a swag, that kind of like studio swag. But is it working? I don't know.
I wonder
So
how
that
it is showing on the screen. Now I have two screens and I'm trying to
looks
look at
yeah, looks better this way. All right, guys. If you can hear us, drop us an emoji, a thumbs up, whatever you can, so that we can kick off this conversation. So, Joa, finding a perfect co-founder, we actually qualified to talk about this because, first of all, we are sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and some people would think that ah, these ones that are saying finding a perfect co-founder, did you find yourself? And
Mm-hmm.
how did
Were
you
you
like
looking?
what effort did you make in finding yourself?
Were you actually looking?
Were you actually looking? So right, you are right if you think like that, and you are still right. And we are still right if we want to tell you how to find a perfect co-founder, because we've actually
Uh,
collaborated with people,
mm-hmm.
right? We've collaborated with people and we have created different products together. So we've sort of looked for people to work with us in creating those products as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's by itself qualifies us in so many ways to sort of speak about this topic.
I agree with you. Um,
So
but maybe we'll be speaking a bit more generally.
mhm.
Um, right. And the fact that we are related does not necessarily mean that, you know, we would work, right?
Mhm. Yep.
It doesn't make it a perfect match just because of that.
Mhm. Oh, yep.
Yeah. So we're going to be speaking generally, and some of the things actually apply to us. But I think we should talk about why do people need co-founders anyways. So
Hmm.
why do we need co-founders? Why
So I
does
think
any tech business need a co-founder? Can you run your business alone without a co-founder?
yeah.
What opportunities do you have? What does a co-founder actually bring to the business? And
Mhm.
are there businesses that can do without it? Yeah.
Okay. I like how you've asked that a very important question. That do I need? You definitely don't need a co-founder to have a successful business. I've seen many solo founders that are doing so well, and I've
Mm-hmm.
seen many people with co-founders that have crashed. So
Exactly.
it's not a recipe for success. However, yeah, when when you look at the principle of when you want to go fast,
Mm-hmm.
go alone, and when you want to go far, go together. That's the underlying principle of having a co-founder, right? Because in that you're now in that category of sustainability of your business. You're
Mm-hmm.
now in that category of, so just outside having a co-founder, right? Let's see it from the point of view of your leadership team. First of all, your leadership team is as critical and as important in going far and making your business sustainable. So, outside the term co founder, right, it's more of look at it from the point of view of a partnering or a partner um, principle around business.
Okay. So does that
Mhm.
mean that can we still have a leadership team where there are no co-founders?
Yes, and you can have a leadership team that will. But the principle of co-founders is that you've got a set of people that have skin in the game, right?
Mm,
The usual problem of having just a leadership team is that sometimes they are not as committed if they don't have a stake in the growth and the success of the business. And that means that sometimes there's no stability in that kind of scenario where people don't feel like they have a stake or some form of ownership and contribution to the growth. And what would that result into? Most likely, you would have to keep changing people. I don't know if you read Otedola's book, Making It Big. There was a part he was looking for CEO for a CEO for one of his businesses, and he said he went through a process where he kept firing people after 3 months, 4 months, 1 year, because they were not a perfect speech, a perfect fit. And even in one of the examples, one of them even was now siphoning his customers. Imagine making someone your CEO that is now telling your customers that, oh, don't do business with this person. Hmm? Do
mm-hmm.
business with me. I'm running the same company.
Mm, that's
So
crazy.
that person, because the person did not feel like they had a stake in
They
it.
stake in the
They were still,
business.
yeah, they were still having that mindset of an employee. So that's why they felt that what's it called, winning over existing customers in that business was a good strategy for them, and they felt it was a good strategy for them because they had nothing at stake in the business.
In finding a co-founder, do you need to look for someone who is exactly like you,
You
or
don't need you don't need someone exactly like you, and I think it's better when there's a variety of characters and variety of skills in in that regard, because of course you want someone that has not just your complementary skills but has their own set of skills to offer to the growth of the business. So yes, let's
so
go
are we looking at?
into let's go into like a values kind of checklist of the person itself. So what are your
So
own values and what are the person's values? That can I think a lot of times people come into partnership and they have different values. How can you check a person's value and their motivation even before you start partnering with them?
or are you asking me, or you wanted to
Yes,
go
so
into something?
you
How do you check the person's values?
and skills. So you know you've said should
Is
you
it,
have
are
the
we looking
same.
for skills, or are we looking for value when we're trying to find a co-founder?
I think it's both, because if two of you are, so I think the question you asked about should you be alike, that's relating to values.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you
May not
should be alike,
necessarily be relating to values, like so.
but
Maybe
skills
in
should be different in skills, but you should be alike in values. That's what I feel. Go ahead.
okay, so in values, okay, yes, I agree that it should be alike in values. But
Mm-hmm.
when I'm talking about difference, I don't necessarily mean like just skills or even values. I
Mm-hmm.
mean like in approaches to doing things. For instance, for both of us, you are a bit more let's get it done. Me, I like to take my time to see, like to understand it, and I'm always just taking my time to think of different angles because maybe I have a bit of perfectionism.
Mm.
Yeah. So I want it to be, you want it to just be done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most times, not every time, but I want it to be done perfectly. So
Mm.
in bid to trying to make it perfect,
Mm.
sometimes I am taking my time.
Yeah.
You are great with multitasking. I'm not so great with more. I like, in fact, the thing that slows me down is when I have plenty things at the same time to do. A lot of times I have to center myself and start to take them one after the other. Because when there are a lot, I just become crippled. So how would I put it? Now, it's to some people, both both sides have their benefits, right? And I guess for me, that's the difference I'm talking about in like your approach to addressing things, your approach to taking care of work, or assign, even in how you assign tasks or how you
Yeah.
like things
So that's a
done. It can
skill
be
thing.
different.
That is still grouped under skill.
So like
Not
soft
really like
skills.
values. Yeah, soft
Yeah,
skill,
it's
but
not.
not
That's
really
why I
like
said that
values.
it's not values or okay. So then it's not values. Then it's under skills, but soft skills. Is that what you mean?
Yes, yes. But in
Okay.
values, you should be the same. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Like
yes,
you should be
definitely.
the same.
You should have shared if you, for instance, if you know what you want your business core values to be. Let's say
Mm.
you value as a or your personal values as a person. If you
Mm-hmm.
both value integrity, value
Mm-hmm.
accountability, responsibility, you value kindness, you should have a co-founder that you know shares the same values.
Exactly.
However,
Exactly.
yeah, and the value should be the constant. Definitely, it should be the
That's it.
base, it should be the constant from which the soft skills. So I know if both of us value maybe customer service, I know that no
Mm-hmm.
matter how long I take to think about an approach, I should make sure that a customer is not suffering, right?
So customer is
From my
satisfied. Yeah.
yes, from how much I'm thinking or taking my time to be perfect before I implement something or execute something.
Mm.
I need to ensure that since we both have a shared value of let our customers be satisfied, then
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is I'm doing, that becomes like my priority.
Mm-hmm.
However, my bottom line is that. So I agree with you. Shared values should be the same thing. Skills might be different. Approach to issues might be
Problem solving.
different. Problem
Mm.
solving, yes, might be different. But I guess the value is what grounds the entire team, and is everything leads to the value at the end. It
In the
becomes is
end,
the
yeah.
end goal.
And that's how
Yeah.
you develop a shared vision. From that value, you can now have a vision that is shared because your values are already like centered and are already like aligned. So yeah, what what will
What
you
values should we
say?
look out for? You asked a
Yeah,
question on what values. Oh,
yes, what will you say is like a non-negotiable value? Like just
for me,
one non-negotiable
one
value,
thing,
one
integrity.
integrity. Okay. I think for
Yes,
me, one non-negotiable value is also going to be integrity as well because I feel that
it
um
has different
from
branches.
it, yes,
Yeah,
from integrity you can say
yes,
trust, you can say accountability,
yeah,
you can say
accountability.
responsibility, and all
Yeah,
of
you
those
can
things.
even say kindness because
Mm-hmm.
at the very least, treat people, right. At the barest minimum, treat the next person right. If you're treating the next person right, you know that you shouldn't. When you say you're going to do something, you say, "Oh, this is
Mm.
going to be delivered at this point." You understand that every other person is going to be banking on that and planning around that. So you make sure that you're also in integrity. There's communication. Make sure you're communicating to if there's any
Mm.
lapse or and then or at the very least make sure that what you said you're going to actually do it. If you say, oh, I'm
Exactly.
going to be with this team till now, till
Mm-hmm.
this time, let it be so. If you say, oh, this is how we're going to share profits,
Mm-hmm.
let it be so. If you say, I'm going to I just want to bootstrap with you guys, I really share in the vision, and you make all those promises, if you have integrity, when things go bad, you will remember the fact that you said you wanted to just
And
be a
nobody
part of
forced you.
this dream and nobody forced you. So integrity is basically like let your words actually
Be
be
your
rely.
bond.
Let's be able to
Yeah.
let's be your bond. Let's be able to rely on things that you say you are going to do.
Okay. So we've established a foundation, right, on this. And we said, we've spoken about,
Yeah.
yeah, you cannot, then we also said what is non-negotiable value, and Joe and I have agreed that integrity is a non-negotiable. So where do you look for a co-founder? I think that is the next meat of the discussion.
If I was going through my experience, I would say don't pick a friend. Don't just pick a friend, but no. Where do you find a co-founder? Anywhere, honestly, in your community. And so what it depends on also how you are looking and what you're looking for. So some people they believe that skills can be bought, right? But values cannot be. So
Yes.
they put value in front, and you're just looking for somebody who has like who understands me, who has shared values, and they now start to now say, okay, I found this person. This person has shared values. What can the person do? You start looking at the skills afterwards.
Mm,
For other people, they work the other way around and say, you know what, I need a technical co-founder, right?
mm,
So you are looking now at tech people, and then from the list of tech co-founders or tech founders that you think you can that have the skills that you need for your business, you now start to work them, or let's say eliminate them or filter them by their through their values, right? I remember speaking with someone, and she was like, when she was trying to hire a tech co-founder, she asked all of them. There were four of them. She had
mm,
asked them what they like to do and
mhm,
tried to spend a weekend with them each, right? So once at the clubs, she clubbed with him, just saying things like how he was treating the waiter, the guys that, you know, the guys that attended to them at the club, how he
mhm,
acted, how he held his liquor. She was looking at things like that just to
mm,
understand him. The other person liked tennis, right? She went for a tennis game with him just to also monitor what his team spirit is like,
mhm,
and maybe his punctuality. So she was looking at different things when she was spending time with these different
mm.
founders.
So trying
And
to
then
get to know them properly.
yes, she wanted to, because she knew the four of them were great, in terms of technical skills, right? They had the track record, and she couldn't just decide, right? And through this process, she was able to streamline. It was still a bit difficult for her. When she eliminated two, she still had two left.
Mm,
One was she is a church girl, and the other one happened to be a church boy too. So she followed him to church. She had gone out with him for dinner on Saturday, and they did church on Sunday. And I guess she was a bit biased because when we say shared value, now you now meet your fellow church guy that goes to
mm,
church too. So you're not like, hey, he's a Christian, he loves
mm.
God. You not start thinking about all those other things. I remember when I was discussing with her, I was like, hope you didn't let that one trick you, because all manner of people are going to church. You know, all kinds of people are going to
100%.
church.
Yeah.
And from what she explained, the other person who wasn't going to church so much still had other, like, was still very kind, was very considerate, saying,
Mm-hmm.
oh, when do you pay your employees, how can we, was already thinking about ways that they can streamline things for process. But the other guy, while he went to church and had the skills, and he was also good, he wasn't so much of a leader. Like, he
Mm,
was a one man mopo, somebody that likes
mm,
to just do his things on his own. So she was still seeing, she was now conflicted. There's this person who shows leadership, clear leadership skills, and the other person who is my church brother. Who do I go for? So that just goes to say that you can find your co-founder anywhere. It depends on what you're looking for and what you are prioritizing. If you have to also outline what values are important to you, first of all, to you and then your business. And you can go further to say, what skills do I need in my business? So some people, they already have like a tech team. If you're building like a product, you have a tech team, and so far so great. But you don't necessarily have someone who can take your business to the next level in terms of
Yeah.
marketing and sales. So you start to target somebody in marketing and sales, but then tie it back to what values you hold on to, and now realign. If you are somebody who knows, like, who likes to work, right, and plans their life, and you have a plan. Oh, this is my quarter, this is our goal for the next quarter, and all of that. If that's how you've been running your business, please don't go and find a founder who does anywhere belle face. Like, that
That's
doesn't
not
really care.
organized.
There's
Yeah.
someone that just goes with the flow and doesn't check the
Because
books.
it can be
If you're
frustrating.
so Yes, because there will be no alignment there, and they will never really come back to that document that you prepared and you said it
Yeah.
was goals, because they are just going based on vibes. So
Yeah.
find your tribe, right? You don't always have to be alike in terms of personality. Your co-founder might be someone who is quiet but knows how to do his work well and
Like
knows
the
how to
Paystack
carry the team
example.
along.
Like the Paystack example. They don't look alike. They don't even seem like they like the same thing, but they built a fantastic
Yeah,
company together.
a
We
body,
can't
yes, and they
dispute that.
worked great together. Yes, they work great
So
together.
for me, I think to answer that question, I'll say you can find them in, just to add to what Joa said, you can find co-founders in your former place of work. That might be a good place. If you were working a 9 to 5 before you become an entrepreneur. I know some Paystack
There are a lot of
founders,
businesses that
Flutterwave
are like
founders,
that.
yes, that
Yeah,
leave the company and start their own. Right? I'm not very sure. One of these apps, I think two of them left from Paystack and they were able to set up one of these big e-commerce apps. I think two of them left for Paystack and they were able to set. So you can find former colleagues. I think for former colleagues, you might be able to predict them and their work style.
yes,
Yeah. And I think you can find from your university, some people find co-founders like the Apple story, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. I believe they were in the same university. So there's a sort of predictability when they are from the same university as well. So I think that's another place you can, like, you might be able to know somebody's behavior from university and say this person, I can predict what the person can do.
mm-hmm.
And my own personal experience, I once found a CTO from like an accelerator program that I attended, an incubation program, an accelerator program that I attended to. So from all
Yeah,
those, so what do we group those ones? Entrepreneurship association or networks or entrepreneurship journey, right? So you can find in, so sometimes people come for accelerators at idea stage, and they are both parties might be like, all parties in that accelerator might even be confused on how to create their product. And
hmm?
sometimes coming together in that kind of scenario to create one good product might be better than having fragmented products that might not likely do well. So that's
Yeah,
another place to find. And then of course some people do typical hiring process, like the principles
that
of
also works.
buy, borrow, build. When it comes to hiring, you can either buy the skill. When it comes to finding talent, you can buy the skill, you can borrow the skill, and you can build the skill. Some people's co-founders were like normal employees that worked their way up. Some people's co-founders are like people that are temporary. Some people give like a temporary contract to a co-founder. So you just come and help them build the products and run it for like a couple of years and then exit. Some people have those type of co-founders. And then I said buy, borrow, build. Okay, I've said build, I've said buy, borrow.
Borrow.
I think I said borrow. Borrow is when you just give them like a temporary window to work with you, build your product, work with you. And then some people go the whole, do you know that on Y Combinator there's a co-founder search? The Y Combinator website, there's a co-founder search. You can put your job description and hire a co-founder. But yeah, that person, yeah, you'll be able to put on that website what you're looking for exactly in the person. I think it's like a matchmaking kind of thing that goes on
Mm.
at the back end. So those are places to find co-founders, according to me and Joa, based on our
But
personal.
where is the best place to find though?
There's no best place, so nobody can categorically say this is the best place, right? Nobody can
Mm.
say the best place because human beings are dynamic, and that's what makes the work
Yeah.
of anybody in recruitment. Anybody in recruitment will tell you that sometimes people's behavior long term is unpredictable. So I got a CTO from an incubation program, but it didn't end well. So I can't say that that's the best place.
But you can't also
So
say that that is the worst place too,
yeah, I can't even say
because
that
of
it's
your
what I'm sure
experience.
some people
It
have
has worked for
gotten
some
good
other
experience.
people.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so it depends. I think it depends. Business is very, very, very sensitive. When you are making money, it becomes more and more sensitive, right? And there's a probability if you are not aligned, like back to that statement of values, if two of you are not aligned, one person will feel that they are cheated in the process of the partnership, one person will feel like they are losing in the agreement. Somebody must feel that the agreement is not working for them if the values are not shared. And Joa said something that why integrity is important, because you are able to remember why you came into that partnership. Nobody forced you. The ability to remember why you came in.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should co-founders have equal shares in the business? Do you think it matters, or just a stake in it is good enough?
I think it all depends. I think it all depends. So I've seen co-founders that have like very huge difference in shares, and I've seen co-founders that have equal shares. So I think sometimes some people's equal shares come from the fact that it was just like that they started it, right? They just came to that agreement
From the idea stage,
from
most
the idea
times
stage.
is
Yes,
when we can get equal shares. Yeah.
exactly. But when you
When
are
both of you
now
thought of the
raising
idea at the
money,
same time.
exactly. But when you're now raising money from investors, right? There's
Hmm.
another your shares might likely drop and reduce. So
Yeah,
there's
but
another
it will
third
reduce
party.
together if you have
Exactly. If you have equal.
equal shares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um yeah, if you have equal shares, it should reduce together. And if it's a case where there are like multiple co-founders and sharing the ratio has, some people with lesser shares and then there's an investor coming on board, I think in those cases the parties just figure out, or based on what percent they need to give to the investor, they figure
Mm-hmm.
out what percent of each person's share would be, let's say, diluted, or reduced, so that
Mm-hmm.
actually where you want the CEO or the owner of the business to have the most shares,
Mm-hmm.
um, for obvious reasons.
Mm.
So yeah,
What obvious
that's the
reasons?
basic.
What obvious
Obvious
reasons?
reasons, control, right?
Yeah,
If the person
control.
wants to retain control, the only way to really retain control of your startup, of your business, where you have other shareholders, is to have majority shares.
Mm.
So that's the
Yeah,
obvious reason.
yeah.
Except you don't mind. Some people build products and don't really mind whether they have,
Because they are so in love with
substantial
the
shares.
product and they just feel like I
Yeah.
want this product to move and all of that. But what are
Yeah,
those
and
are
some people
like
don't just tie, they don't tie all those things to their chest. They're
yeah.
just like,
Those
oh,
are
if
like
this one,
personality differences, right? It's not really like a hard and fast rule
no, 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 no,
because
it's not even a
personality
rule. Yeah,
plays
it's
a
not a
huge.
rule. It's your choice. It depends on what you want to achieve from whatever startup, and also how much of your time, resources, effort have gone into it. Is the only way to really compensate yourself, especially when you are not even earning so much years from the business, is to have the most shares actually.
Mm.
pending when you're
Yeah,
able to earn properly. So
makes
yeah,
sense.
there's no problem there. The most important thing for co-founders, I would say, is clear and open communication as much as possible. But clear and open communication only happens where there's already trust. If there is the trust has been broken, most times it's difficult to communicate openly and clearly. And it may not
Mm.
even be completely, it may not be like negatively or anything. It can just be a case of, mm, this person already feels like they can't trust me with decision making in the organization. So you
Exactly.
now keep some decisions from them because you already feel like, they don't trust me anyways, or or they feel like you're already squandering money. The company is making plenty money, and
Mm.
then you know you're trying to explain that the company is not making that amount, but they already feel like that, so
But
there's
what
really
kind of
nothing you
co-founder
can
will
do.
assume the company's money making potential and not know exactly?
A co-founder that is not carried along, I guess, one. So most
What is the
times, the
role
another
of
another.
carrying along, and what is the role so there are two things, right? You
Mhm.
said somebody that is not carried along, but what role do you have to play to be carried along?
What role do you have to play? In
To be
what
carried
sense? Sorry.
along. So like
In what sense?
in what I mean is that you should say somebody is not carried along. Is it entirely the responsibility of one party to carry one party along? Or is there
Um,
also a role that a person may have played that made the person not to be carried along?
yeah, it goes both ways. That's why I said trust too. Another
Mm,
thing that many of us do unknowingly is that
mm,
we're very oh, I'm so transparent. You're transparent about how much the company made or raised. Yeah.
mm,
But we're not transparent enough about how much the company spends.
mm,
So now your co-founder, your employees, they have an idea of how much the company has raised,
mm-hmm,
but they don't know how much is being spent to keep
mm-hmm.
the company running, to keep the business running. So you can't necessarily blame them when they are doing their own plus and minus in their head and now feeling like the company has so much money, but you're not doing this, you're not doing ABCD
So do you
because you
think
never
that in that case,
carry. Mm-hmm.
the question and assumption that the person made is not like who could have helped the person not to make an assumption in that case? Because
Maybe the
I
CEO, the
feel like
accounting
it
team.
all stems from motives. Like if your motive is pure and not mischievous, you should be able to ask questions like, "Oh, what is really happening?" And I think it goes back to trust,
Trust.
which stems from the integrity that you have. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So if
okay,
you don't already
what is
trust the
happening?
person,
You won't
you
make
think the worst.
assumptions.
If
Mm-hmm.
you don't trust, you start to think the worst. But at the same time, I remember I said there's something that we do subconsciously. We announce, and they've told us to carry our team along so we can celebrate wins, right? Many times we celebrate wins. So the everything is so magnified to everybody and
So you don't
whining so
celebrate
much that
failures. You
so
don't
it's
announce
not about
failures.
celebrating or
You don't
announcing, it's
announce
about
failures.
communicating, it, right? And say, hey, this you guys, oh, we did our maybe monthly reports or financial
Mm,
reports for the last
mm,
quarter, and our expenses are this,
mm-hmm,
right? This so things are not going to allow us to be able to do ABC that we do usually do
mm,
until we are able to increase our revenue. Sometimes it's something as little as that. I tell my team, I tell them to do the maths themselves too. Now, I know you see this money that just came in for training now, but calculate it. If ABC clients do not pay, but this
mm.
money came in from this D
One
client,
client. Mm,
yeah, you do see that it's still not enough to cover up what ABC could have done, So I try to break it down as much as possible because I
mm,
also I'm also living by the integrity. If I say, oh, you
mm,
guys we're looking at increasing salary by this time, or we're looking at doing giving commissions or doing this by this time. When it's no longer feasible, I say this thing has been approved though, we want to do it, but we need our revenue to come up to this for us to be able to do
Mhm.
it.
So that
So
communication. Mm.
yeah, so it's the communication, that because constant communication is also how you maintain trust,
Yeah.
right? Even if you
And
are
I think
building
there's
it, you
also
need
a
to maintain it.
responsibility of the team or the co-founder also not making assumptions. That's what I was going to
Yes,
ask.
you also have to ask questions like the co-founder.
Mm.
What are the, like, try and be, you have to come out of a fellow employee's shoes, right?
And
And
think
try
like
and
an
see,
owner.
yes, and try and be in those meetings where we are budgeting, where we are planning, right?
Exactly.
Don't wait for it to be done and shared with you. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a role that the co-founder has to also play to be carried along. The
Mm-hmm.
whole carrying along is not for one party alone, right?
Yes, because it
Because
has
you
to
are
be
a
like I should be able
co-founder.
to also trust you with some information, not to freak out. For example, if I'm going to tell my co-founder about, oh, I've seen situations where people would freak out when their co-founder tells them the reality of the books, right? They now start to look for their own side hustle or look for their own this thing, like way to cover their own self or dodge and
Mm-hmm.
find their own. Yeah, so that one can also be a discouraging factor when you look at it like, okay, somebody wants to tell you the truth of the reality of the situation, but they also don't want you to freak out. Can they trust you with like the hardest failures and the hardest decision making? That's the question. And I
Mm.
think that is something that we all need to go and reflect on. If you say you want to be a co-founder, do you have a co-founder's mindset? Do you have an owner's mindset? Or are you
Yeah,
just
when you go and
enjoying?
get
Because
stuff, are you going to
I've been very
run?
disappointed talking to like some people in C-suite, right, of a business, and they start to sound like a regular employee. That shows that your leadership skill is off, right? They can't even tell you a simple information like, oh, the business is making a loss now, oh, and this is due to XXX. You're already like, hey, God, oh, let me go and sending out my CV. Oh, hey, let me find where to to hide myself. So those are the things like also can the person take the losses as well as the successes? Because it's every day in business is not a gyration. Oh.
To be fair,
Sometimes it's
I can't blame
it's
human
every
beings, because our reaction is always fight or flight. So when you are picking your co-founder to pick someone that is also willing and ready to fight, um, and apart from shared values, I think an actual genuine interest or passion in whatever it is you guys are building is what makes the difference. Because let's say the truth, shared values, Kiniko, if you have bills to pay, you're not thinking about that one now. And human
mm,
beings is always fight or flight. Like, should I fight, stay and fight, or should I just run and save myself? Every human being thinks of both angles, right? The difference is when there's a passion and a shared interest, like when somebody is really interested in whatever it is that they're building. When you say, oh, things are looking down, no, your immediate reaction should not be, should I go and find, you know, it has to be a what can we do, right?
mm,
How can we,
find
what
a
can we
solution.
change? What can we improve? What do we need to do better? What do we
Mhm.
need to do differently? you know because if the person's reaction is, and that's the difference when, oh, that's mostly the reports when we go through the hiring process style, to get a
Mm.
co-founder. Because most times when you do the hiring process, you're just looking for fit for the role, most times for the role of the co-founder. But when two people from the get-go start the business
And when
together,
some people hear that your company has raised money, they have turned themselves to thieves.
eh but
They're looking for
when
the how they can
you
have a piece of that
exactly,
cake. They're not necessarily
when
looking
you
for how to share your vision. How can they eat from that your
exactly,
pie?
Exactly. That's why the ones that start together from the beginning, from the idea stage together, most times are the ones that stick together. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, when you bring somebody in halfway, it means that they can also
Long
still
throat
leave
most times.
halfway.
Yeah.
They can still leave halfway. But when you start from the beginning with the person, it feels like a mission. We started the race together. Most times, the
Mm.
person wants to be able to see how does this end. Like if you're like me, I like to say I start something. I like to see how it will end most times. So I'm always like, how does it end? But if you already moved to see, you got the person when you were around C. What is the person if everything gets tough by P, they can try to leave and say, well, I was not there from the beginning. I must not
It's
be A to
only
Z.
had it up. Gwang, 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 gwang,
Exactly.
gwang,
They will say I
gwang.
was not Kuku there at A. Why must I be there at Z? Whatever Z will be, if they will even reach Z.
Yeah, yeah. Person will
So
already be doubting the vision and
yeah,
waiting
the
for you to
mindset is always
fail.
different. The
Actually,
mindset is
just
always
waiting for you
different.
to, yeah, actually waiting
It's
for you to
always
fail. Like,
different.
these people are going nowhere. Ah, it's actually funny.
Meanwhile, some
But
people
it's
they
not
they
funny.
like the idea, but they just know that this period you will not have money to pay me, so they'll be watching from back.
Yes,
I'll
I'm
be
watching
cheering
from
you,
back.
timing you for when you will need them. when things are not looking as if they are rosy, they will not start giving you
Human.
elaborate ideas and plans, so that you should
Yeah,
not be saying, "Wow, they won't take me to the next level." You too, you be thinking,
yeah.
so
Where
that
were you? Where were you? When I was thinking, when I
I'm
was
telling
soaking
you,
Gary and trekking, where were you?
ah.
Yeah,
In the
but that's
words
the
of
reality.
Burna Boy, now who love me I go love. You have to love
Yes.
me when I did not have. No, but seriously,
In the
I know
words
many
of
founders
in the
who
words
say
of
anybody
yeah.
that did not start from them cannot get co-founder title.
Yeah.
I do not
Everybody
blame
likes
them
a
when they
winning
say
story. Like everybody likes a success story more than they like a
that.
story of
Exactly.
challenge and hardship. Everybody wants to associate with success. They say success has many best friends and
Of
many
course.
friends. Yeah.
Of course.
But what is important, right, in this whole discussion of co-founder is that you have to be very, very intentional to communicate both the wins and the losses. It is not a bed of roses. It's not supposed to be a even roses have thorns. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be a walk in the park. You have to be deliberate about sharing the failures as well. So anybody that wants to jump ship can jump ship as quickly as possible. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no need selling fluff to anybody when you are
Yeah, even
selling
from
your
when you are
vision.
trying to get them on board, just
Yeah,
tell them
no
that we'll
self
see.
love.
You
Yeah,
to go and do your own research and see the markets, available markets, and see whether
exactly.
this thing is going to,
Whether it will work or not.
and
Exactly.
from research, it takes about 3 years to break even. Oh, you go do,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, go
I
do,
be no
you
go
know,
do. I
we have
be
not raised money. You go do, I mean, you know, go
I
do.
be no go
So
do. Mm-hmm.
that is like be as plain as possible. Don't say, oh, this is the next best thing we are going to, or more, because when you raise human beings expectations high, the higher the expectations, the stronger or bigger the disappointment, should it not happen, and they start to look for alternatives, which is normal. As me, I started giving human beings grace because I realized that all of us, we just want money, and we're thinking about ourselves. And there's everybody here saying, "Love
Yeah.
yourself, love yourself." We're all talking about how people should
My
love
daddy
themselves.
once said, my daddy once said everybody's looking for money. Nobody's looking for
Nobody's looking
work.
for work, exactly. So all
Like
of us,
the other day, somebody
well,
asked me, like, "Oh, what do you enjoy about your work?" And I said, "I enjoy when I'm making money.
honestly,
I just
honestly,
enjoy making money for a living."
honestly.
Like let's just
So
let's just be real, because the challenging days happen, and even myself that I am the visionary, I feel like uprooting my hair from my head. I feel like shouting, screaming, crying, everything when those challenges happen. So it's not a what is it called, it's not every day that it's all rosy and every day that it's all mushy
you
and
just have to
and,
be ready, sha.
and
Founder
sweet.
or co-founder. Just know
Yeah.
that anything can happen. you know.
Anything
And that
can
anything
happen.
can happen means very good things and
Somebody
very
said,
strange,
yeah,
very strange
somebody
things.
said that you can have $0 at the start of a new month and end up with $10,000 at the end of the month as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that $0 you could not even like, you were already like afraid, panic attack, anxiety. But and we've always seen that, Joe. I've seen that always happens.
I
Like,
remember one video where someone was saying you're doing business and you're not holding God care.
you
Ah,
hold God,
well,
you hold the hem of his
because
garment.
today, because today, if you be like Papa, like your employees, the least paid employee in your organization can actually have more money than you 1 week,
Exactly.
and you know, the next couple
Was one day
of
one of my
weeks
clients
or
said that
days,
thing. One of our clients said that thing that one day that some of you even have more money than me sitting here. And that thing actually hits me that your
like it's
employees
so
can even
true.
have more money than you.
It's so true. I remember one
What's all
time that
this?
was it your nanny or someone whose nanny got robbed. What's it called? She did a stole her, whether it was it 80K or something. I was just like, wow, this guy has 80K in her account. Because then I
Joa,
didn't
don't
even have
kill me.
any money. I didn't have any money. I was like,
Ah,
wow,
a
this
whole
girl is already
co-founder.
they even saw 80K from your account. Rich kids. So I was like,
Ah, my goodness.
so that's just the life. It's the life we chose, you know. So and it's nobody's fault. If the life almost if it doesn't serve you anymore to be a co-founder of a business, possibly because you're not doing as great as you thought, just don't
Mm,
hurt anyone in the process of living. Leave, choose yourself. Just don't hurt anyone while you're choosing yourself. That's the only thing. That's the only, like I say, the only caveat or the only thing I put to the statement of, oh, love yourself, or put yourself first. All of that. Put yourself first. Fine, no problem. Don't hurt anybody else. Don't hurt anybody in the process of. Don't run down somebody's business because you're putting yourself first. That's my
mm.
own. Go by
And
all means.
it goes back to integrity, seriously.
Exactly.
Nobody, like, if you can think back on why you ever
Nobody
took the
forced you.
role.
An offer was given to you. You accepted it.
Mm,
So except you are with somebody who is a criminal, like if your founder is a criminal or was really embezzling funds and not carry you along. Co-founders are embezzling together. That's why I
mm,
said did not carry you along. If you are really with a bad person, then that's different.
mm.
You can say,
Yeah,
oh,
because
what you
some people,
accepted
yeah, some
went
people's
wrong.
reason is they are suffering like manipulation, lies, all those things. Like you
Mm-hmm.
entered into the wrong partnerships. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
that one.
It's
Yes,
okay to
that's you're
exit.
free
Yeah,
to go.
you have to
But when you're,
save yourself.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
just
yeah,
remember when nobody forced you.
two weird people can build fantastic products. Two quirky people, two annoying people, two misfits
Yeah, it's
can
just
build
like the Bible
amazing.
said. Like
Mm,
once you agree, you work together. Like
exactly.
once there's an
You work
alignment,
together,
you
exactly.
know, you guys will do great things once you're aligned. So don't force yourself. Don't force anybody to be your co-founder. Don't force co-founder down everyone's throat. Everyone cannot be C-suits. Everyone cannot be co-founder, even if they are great at it. Some people genuinely lack the resilience and leadership that it takes to be a co-founder. Like they don't
Mm.
have it. It's not their fault. It's not in them to. Long suffering is not a gift that was given to. Why we pray for it? People don't know how to do long suffering. And seriously, if you want to be a co-founder, prepare that there might be a period of where you have to be really patient. Some people are not
Yeah,
that patient, and that's okay.
100%.
You don't have to force them to be patient. And if you know
Yeah.
you're not patient, don't accept the offer. If you're not seeing
Mhm.
that you make one plenty money, like
Mm.
that works with your own timelines as a person, don't
Sometimes
accept it and frustrate people.
let money not be your only motivation though. Let it be, or let
We
it.
keep saying that, but the truth is that they are human beings. That's all
That's
the
their own
motivation
motivation.
that they have.
But the truth is that
And
money is not a sustainable way to be happy in the psychology
it,
of it.
they say
Because when
that
do you now, as a human being, when do you say this is enough money? Because if money is your motivation, you keep moving, like you're
it will
postponing your
never be
happiness,
enough. Yeah.
postponing your joy. Like, when will you now say this is when I will? Because for me, success for me looks like flexibility with my time, flexibility with my even the kind of customers I accept, flexibility with when I wake up in the morning, as simple as when I wake up in the morning, right? The ability to be flexible with how long I can stay in bed, right? Flexibility with how I can move around if I want to go out or if I don't want to go out. That's how success looks to me. And it's not just about money, because some people are very rich, but they take any job, they take anything, that they work like donkeys, right? There are people that are very, very rich, especially in some kind of high volatile jobs, where especially in those type of finance kind of um jobs, that they have to like be early to monitor like the stock market in different parts of the world
Mm-hmm.
and all of those things. So they are not even resting. They don't even have like a life outside their work and all of those things. Some people genuinely enjoy that job. Good for them. But some people like are in those type of job because they just like money too much.
Money.
Yes, and they are not able to choose themselves and choose contentment at some point. So when does it become enough? When do you now say I have arrived? When do you now have a like peace of mind? When do you now accept joy? Because if you put only money as a motivator, sometimes there's no limit to how money can keep pushing you and keep driving you to do things whether you like it or not. So that's my 2 cents. I will wrap up this this series of HR Unlock, this episode of HR Unlock. So guys, yeah, in summary, Joa.
In summary, when you're picking out a co-founder, look that that you guys have shared values, right? That they have the right soft skills and the technical skills that you need. Also check that they are leaders, meaning that they can influence their team. They understand service and understand work. And depending on the stage that you're bringing this person in, just
Mm,
prepare. So if you're bringing the person in from the beginning, like we said, most
mm,
times you're able to, you guys from the get-go have a goal that you planned on together. However, if you bring the person midway, ensure that you
mm,
communicate clearly, don't sell fluff, and
mm.
only the good things to the person. Give them as
Yeah.
much information as they would need, and
Mhm.
as much compensation as you can give, right?
Mm,
Don't bite more than
mm.
what you can chew. Everyone is
Exactly.
not going to be able to work for you for free or work for you for what. So if you don't have the huge amount of people and of money rather to give to people yet, try and use your limited resources rightly. Don't overpromise people what you can
Mm-hmm.
deliver on. And then lastly, two will work together where there is alignment. So
Mm-hmm.
ensure that you are aligned on everything that you are trying to do in terms of simple things like even what our goals are for the next year. Do you want to expand? What's product development for us? What's success for us as an organization? What kind of people do we need to hire? Just ensure that you're aligned, ensure that you're communicating clearly, both the good and the bad. Discuss it together, and please make sure that whoever it is that is your co-founder has a mentality of we and us, and not just I, because then
Yes,
it
exactly.
is
Very important.
co-founder for a reason. Like it's
Mm,
like there are other people involved, so the person has to have a team spirit and not be very focused on themselves or very selfish. So
yeah,
that's
that's very
the
that's very
summary.
important.
Yeah.
Selfish, you don't want a selfish person. I think for my own summary, I'll say that the values must align, communication must be open and direct, and the feedback loop must be functional. You must be having that feedback and that open communication and honest communication for it to work. And I think also when you're looking for someone from the beginning, you must not be in a hurry or be desperate to just choose anybody. Do your own. Drive said the story of someone that went as far as hanging out with the people on different informal settings. So do your own background verifications, do your own background checks as well, and leverage your network. But at the same time, don't be sentimental when you are leveraging your network. Not because you feel that this person is a good person. There are many good people that are not necessarily good business people. So you have to also look at that as well. So thank you
All right.
for this beautiful episode. I think I enjoyed using YouTube Live, and
Yeah.
I like
Side
the
by
look.
side.
Yes, yes, I think. All right, thank you guys, and this is
Thank
where we
you.
call it, and we bring this to an end.
See you next
Thank you,
episode.
Joa.
Bye.
Bye.